Here is what you missed on Blueprint to a Man's Thoughts on Red Lipstick Vibes.
Childs talk like that, and for example, I know an only child that that married into a big family, I mean, kids and all. So I mean, and he was the only child. So I see where he comes from also.
Yeah, and you got to pick up what he said. He said when he got with Savannah.
Yeah.
It changed his whole, outlook on like, wow, this is awesome having this person, to wake up to and kids and all that kind of stuff. So I can see you, enjoying that part of your life.
I don't know. I'm an only child. I don't say And then I know folks that got brothers and sisters, and they don't know how to be alone because that's what they never been alone. You know what I'm saying? Like alone is my default.
You gotta learn to isolate though. I said this before.
Yeah.
Especially as a man, you gotta learn to isolate yourself, because especially when you got plans and stuff you need, because the biggest thing I tell my mentees, like you gotta stay focused, right? Because isolate yourself from the world, because the outside distractions, because we all have the nature, right? You want to have fun, you want to do this or buy this thing, you know what I'm saying?
Anton's assessment in this comment that the great King James says.
Oh, I don't want to be alone. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
If I got to fight, crawl, scratch, fight, whatever to keep mine, I got to keep it. I got to do what I got to do. I don't want to be alone. I'm an only child, single parent household.
I said it out loud, King.
I met my homies for the first time when I was 7, 8 years old. We started playing sports, and I got around them, and we started traveling, playing sports. I was like, oh, this shit is amazing.
Yeah.
And then when I got with Vanna, and I was like, oh, this shit is crazy. Oh, this is amazing. I love this shit. I'm like, nah, fuck that. Next time I'm alone, I'm gonna be in a
don't say that,
Keith, champ.
I love that, but I feel like a lot of people don't value relationship in that way.
Which should be in one.
I think a little bit differently. I think that you should always be okay with being alone, and I also don't agree with the idea that he said that out loud in front of her, and I know it's probably going to be some people that disagree with that, but I don't agree with that simply because I think that you start to give them ammunition, and you also start to give people a leg up to be able to use that against you, because they know in the back of their mind that you don't want to be alone, and that's something that they can then leverage in order to try to get one up on you in certain situations. But then again, even in that situation, it depends on the person that you're in a relationship with. Make sure.
What do you guys think? Do y'all agree with Anton and his assessment? What do you think about when King James said he doesn't want to be alone? He's going to fight to not fight for his family.
I think Anton cleaned it up, right? It's all dependent on your girl. It's all dependent who you're in a relationship with.
I was about to
right?
say.
Like I said, y'all get there. Like I'm saying, you got to go through the mud to figure out if that person is really for you. That's just what it is, right? If I get to a point where I know I can for real trust you, right? I understand y'all don't know what that means. I understand a lot of people ain't seen it, right? But I can really trust you, right? It's still some shit I'm not gonna tell my girl. That's not gonna happen, right? But you understand, right? Hey, that this is it's us. You see what I'm saying? It's us, right? And I said this before, I say it again, and it's so sad that a lot of people don't get to experience that. So I agree with what he said, and again, Anton cleaned up the end. It's all depending on who your mate is.
Yeah,
it's all depending on who your mate is. So
that's what I was about to say. Same thing. Just to piggyback off you, it's all about who you with and how they choose to use that. I ain't gonna say ammunition but to some people that is ammunition to them. They'll probably push a certain button to you that you're not going to take, but they'll try to push that button to see if you snap or do anything or leave them or make them leave you.
Anybody else?
Yeah. Nino, Watts, anybody?
I think that, me personally, I believe that you should treat people how you want to be treated. You know what I'm saying? And Rick keep continues saying, what he's saying is circular, and it's true, it's circular. And basically, he just saying that, if you, I slipped my mind.
That's all right, man. It's all right, Ross.
Go ahead, Nino. It'll come back to me.
Okay.
Nah, I was just gonna say I agree with him, especially when he was saying the leverage part. In my opinion, people might not like it. I think women are the worst people to have any type of leverage on you because they will use it. You know what I'm saying? They will use it anytime they feel like they desperate or really want something.
Right. So, yep.
I don't know why he said something like that. I also agree that you got to be able to be alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
If you don't like being by yourself, then that kind of mean you don't like yourself. So, but I agree with what Anton said 100%.
It should be a balance to it, right? Don't you think?
It's a balance to everything.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's me. I agree to a degree. Because again, when you go to jail, they throw you in solitary confinement when you fuck up. And again, in most people in 2 weeks, they like, let me out of here. 3 days, they're like, I need human contact. It's just conversation, interaction. It's a need. Some people may say, they could be alone, but for how long? That's, if that was true, it wouldn't be a punishment. You know what I mean? And it's like a go-to punishment to just isolate you from population. So I do agree that there's a certain gray area you got to walk in. I'm somebody that loses people frequently. Just lost one of my OGs. Rest in peace, Double Dog. And you got to understand that there's going to be some losses that's greater than others. So you kind of let people know. In this life, there's some losses that you can't get over. So to lose somebody in the human form, or to lose a physical relationship, platonic, business, romantic, or otherwise, when you've had greater loss, I just think that it's kind of something to look at realistically. So, I agree to a degree. I think that we as people kind of thrive on connection and relationship, but you do have to be able to have a certain solidarity. So I wouldn't disagree with that. Great topic, but just a lot of layers in there, because how do we mark the bar of our development as a human if we're not interacting with other people? How do we kind of measure our development?
Yeah. I think a lot of times, when I hear people say that, they don't want to be, I think for me, I'm thinking for the future or whatever. The older we get, we kind of don't want to live life alone, right? And then, experiencing, the way I grew up, everybody in my family, were with their spouses in some way, shape, or form when they passed away. You know what I'm saying? So, or was there for them to, when they took their last breath and stuff like that. Like my grandparents, aunts and uncles, mother and father, you know what I mean? So I think the whole thing and then there's a study that came out, and I've seen a lot of tiki-takis where women and men were complaining about not having human interaction. Like you're more depressed, you have more anxiety. So this whole thing I can be alone is catching up to a lot of people. So I don't know. Maybe King James has a point. I see Anton's point too, but I think there's some other layers to what he's saying when he doesn't want to be alone.
Well, I think you could look at it from LeBron's point also, because he's the only child, only children.
Right.
Like that. Anybody else that got brothers and sisters, they ain't talking like that too much, because they done had interactions and stuff like that. They have somebody to play. He's the only child, only childs talk like that. And for example, I know an only child that married into a big family, kids and all. So he was the only child. So I I see where he comes from also.
Yeah, and you got to pick up what he said. He said when he got with Savannah,
Yeah.
it changed his whole, outlook on like, wow, this is awesome having this person, to wake up to you and kids and all that kind of stuff. So I can see you, enjoying that part of your life.
I don't know. I'm an only child. I don't say nothing like that. And then I know folks that got brothers and sisters, and they don't know how to be alone because that's what they never been alone. You know what I'm saying? Like alone is my default.
You gotta learn to isolate though. I said this before.
Yeah.
Especially as a man, you gotta learn to isolate yourself because especially when you got plans and stuff you need, because the biggest thing I tell my mentees, like you gotta stay focused, right? Because and isolate yourself from the world because the outside distractions, because we all have the nature, right? You want to have fun, you want to do this or buy this thing, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes, to keep yourself in check, you got to put yourself into solitary mode so that way you don't have those distractions biting at your ankles, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that.
True indeed. And I think it's the differentiation between willing to be alone and wanting to be alone.
Yeah, bro.
Because I'm willing to be alone. Again, I think that, you can sit with yourself and so on and so forth. But I don't know if that's a want to just want to have isolation and solidarity for the majority of my day. It's just not, again, therapeutic to the growth as a human. How do I continue to be empathetic and sympathetic if I'm not interacting with these situations?
Yeah. Well, Nina,
Thanks so much for watching. If you want to see more of my shows, click right here. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. See you in the next one.